scientific wrestling, like I am so indebted to Josh for everything that he's done to help us. And he does that for everybody. So I'm sure he's here with the intent to help all you guys get the most out of this. Okay? So please do whatever he says and do it the best you can. And don't worry about being the dumbest guy in the room right now. That's the point. All of us are the dumbest guy in the room except for him. Right? If you're not the dumbest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. You're not going to get better. So let's learn from Josh. And with that said, Josh, thank you.
Quickly and go and attack on a different plane. Because they're already good here, just stifling and not engaging. So you got to get them when they're trying to engage and penetrate into the legs. Quickly, fast, get a hold of basically their post and off balance them, move them off of their post. You can't do that. It's showing that you're not wrestling anybody that has any capability of stopping that. And when you're on your shots, that guy is just blasting you or smashing you on the floor. It will not fly. Strength only gets you so far, and most people are not going to be on like the end of the bell curve of strength. They're so insanely strong, like a Danny Hodge, they can just make shit work regardless of what defense is put in front of them. We can't figure that that's going to be the case. And if you happen to be that person, that's no excuse to not develop proper technique, because if you can do so with bad technique and an excessive amount of strength or an excessive amount of speed, now look how good you could do it, or how much better you'd be able to do it, how much more devastating you'd be if you also had that high level technique behind it as well. So now you're not fighting against yourself. I used to call this thing the cheater double, because it's kind of bullshit, but it does work. And it's just a finish. And I say that with supreme emphasis. It's just a finish. Everything else has got to be the same. All the shit that I started yelling at you from on second one is the same shit you got to be doing. That I had to do the drill on the wall with, I'm yelling at the head, all that has to be the same. So, outside leg trip double. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. Okay, where's he at? We're going to shoot, bing, and when we get to here, instead of standing up, this foot is going to come all the way forward, and we're going to rock over into our glute stretch, catching low at the heel and finishing here. Let's address it. Let's understand why isn't it as good as it should be, and if we can affect it, we do so. And so, I want to see, those of you that's capable of going out and competing, I want to see results. I want to see us getting tagged in tournaments, not just because you won, but that you were there, that you got on the mat, so you went and fucking did it. Because if you just go live in your own gym, that has a lot of merit and a lot of value, but it's not the same as going out and competing. The meaning is in the doing, not just the result. And if you're not on the mats, you're not doing it. It's a transition to right here, as soon as I touch, I go. You don't want to be thinking that you can control this person with this. Well, let's just say my arm's in here, right? Generally, I'll roll it out. Well, let's just say it's inside this way, so I might instead reach across for a drag. Maybe he's even hanging on to this hand, right? So I'll punch through, reach across for a drag, and then I'm just going to shoot my leg by as I pull. And to me, keeping catch alive is very fucking important. And I don't mean in just like a TMA dojo bullshito sense. I mean real, which means we got to be on mats, going live in the rooms, and we got to go doing competitions if we're capable of it. Otherwise, you know what's not keeping catch alive, but in a way does, in a very, only to a sense, those that really know it, spot it, is Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. But they don't call it catch, do they? They just fucking take it, absorb it, amalgamate it into everything they do, and then it just becomes that. Catch is relegated to those that stand up and hold the flag. Well, don't hold the fucking flag if you don't have the ability to keep that thing high, if you can't keep it from hitting the floor. Did you do that?